Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TPG World. My name is Richard Kerr. I am your loyalty and engagement editor, and my job is to make sure that you are excited about points and miles. And given everything going on in the world right now, this is 15 minutes away from whatever else you have going on, and we're going to learn a loyalty program. Up today, Delta Skymiles. Yes, it's time to tackle one of the big three. If you don't know what the big three are, I'm talking about the three legacy carriers in the United States. I'm an Atlanta resident. I've been flying Delta my entire life, except for this year. I'm actually American Airlines Executive Platinum. But yesterday on Twitter, social media, and the local news, I saw the pictures start to come out of all of Delta's airplanes that are parked at the Atlanta airport, including on runway 10280. And it's just an incredible sight of the times we were in today that really brought it home. And I thought, you know what? It's a good excuse to talk about Delta Skymiles. There is a lot to talk about here in 15 minutes. But I'll just preface it with this. There is a lot of, I think, unjustified discontent with the Delta SkyMiles program. I think that was probably worth it about 2015, 16, 17. But in the last year and a half or so, you can really get some incredible value out of Delta SkyMiles. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a hometown guy. Again, I fly American Airlines this year, and I fly Spirit and Southwest JetBlue out of Atlanta plenty, so I'm not blindly loyal by any means, which I will tell you many people in Atlanta are, and I don't personally get it. However, I would say hobby-wide, industry-wide, points and miles wide, there just should be a lot more love for SkyMiles, and we're going to talk about that today. So same format I always do. We're going to talk about earning SkyMiles. I'm going to do some screen sharing on the website. And I'm going to talk about redeeming SkyMiles and show you a few examples, giving you an idea of how the website works. Like I say every week, there's no shortcut to getting good at points and miles. You've got to spend time on these websites, on these search engine for award flights, and just get it done. So let's jump right in here. I'm going to fire off right into a screen share, and we're going to do a little bit of talking about how we earn SkyMiles. Let me throw this over here, and we're going to share my other screen. All right, here we go. How to earn SkyMiles. Now, this all has changed in the last few years. If you are just a beginner, you're going to say, hey, I thought I just flew a number of miles, and that's how many redeemable miles I would earn. But actually, like is most the case for a lot of airlines, you're going to earn miles based on your status and how much you paid for your plane tickets, not including taxes and fees, so the base fare. So don't think they're going to be over generous in any way that they can and give me these miles, but here is a basic chart of how many miles you're going to earn. If you have no status, 5 miles for every dollar, again, not including taxes and fees, all the way up to top tier Diamond Medallion, earn 11 miles for every $1. So over 100% more miles when you get status. And today I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about status, specifically Medallion status, as Delta calls it, because that's what people want to know about in this program, whereas with the international airlines, I'm just talking about earning and redeeming miles. But if you fly Delta and you buy a ticket, this is how many miles you're going to earn based on status. There are a few different caveats there based on, hey, if I buy a bulk fare from an online travel agency or something like that, I may not earn any miles. Is it going to be easy to tell? No, it's not. And then as far as earning on partner miles, well, you can go into this whole fancy website here that says, hey, if you fly with all of our different partners, then this is how you're going to earn miles based on the fare class and the distance that you fly, as well as a percentage of redeemable and elite qualifying miles. And it's really just going to matter on that specific partner. Okay, besides that, some things to bring to your attention. You see here on this website, Lyft. If you don't have your Lyft and your Delta accounts linked, please do that. You earn a mile per dollar for every Lyft ride that you take, as well as Airbnb. You can earn miles on Airbnb. We see this question all the time in the TPG lounge. How do I maximize miles on my Airbnb bookings or points? You get credit card points, but as well as you get $1 per mile spent on Airbnb. You can do some hotel things and other shopping and dining programs, which we could do an entire other TPG Lemonade session about. But for the most part, I don't recommend doing that. Go ahead and earn your hotel points. A few other things to talk about with earning Delta SkyMiles. They are exclusive partners with American Express as far as it goes for earning with credit cards. You can transfer American Express membership rewards at a 1-to-1 transfer ratio. You do have to pay an excise tax, American Express calls it. It's capped at $99, and I won't go into my specific thoughts about that, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, so just something to be wary of there. I don't personally think Delta is somewhere you should send your membership rewards, but there are a few cases where it can make sense. And then there are 3 different kinds of American Express co-branded Delta cards, and then their business versions. So actually 6 different cards you can get. Sorry, 7, including the new blue Delta card. And there's plenty of information here underneath earning miles on the Skymiles program that you can see. And it's just really worth a read here. There's always some little tidbits and pieces if you're not familiar with it. But they have a great chart here that says, hey, the blue card, this gold cards, platinum card, reserve card, these all underwent big refreshes at the end of January. Some new benefits, some new spending bonuses like 2x on miles at restaurants with the gold and platinum card. You get some Centurion Lounge access with the reserve card now. You know, something to take a look at here if you're not familiar with these. But basically, fly Delta, have an American Express membership rewards card, have an American Express co-branded Delta card, or you can even transfer from Marriott at 3-to-1, but please don't do that. There's just much better places to send your Delta miles. Okay, so pretty simple as far as earning Sky Miles. How much did you pay for your ticket? Not including taxes and fees. That's how many miles you're going to earn. When it comes to medallion status, all right, let's talk about it. Silver, gold, platinum, and diamond medallion. I find these to be the most generous status of any of the big 3 carriers. Not a lot of games here, not a lot of caveats. Everybody's eligible for unlimited upgrades on flights in the United States, even Mexico, Caribbean, and Canada, I believe, including silver. It just basically starts with how far out from travel can I get upgraded. So like you saw there, 7 miles, 8, 9, and 11 based on your status for these. It starts at 25,000 medallion qualifying miles, and you have to hit medallion qualifying dollars. So like the airlines are doing now, you have to spend a certain amount of money. You also have to fly a certain amount of elite qualifying miles. Choice benefits are great for Platinum and Delta. These are regional upgrade certificates or global upgrade certificates. We won't talk about that too much there. But what's really nice about this, is, again, are the upgrades that we're talking about. So first class upgrades, even if you're silver medallion, 24 hours before departure. And it goes all the way up to 5 days before departure if you're diamond. Comfort Plus upgrades. I don't like to call it an upgrade. It's just, a seat with 3 inches of extra legroom, which, hey, can be nice for those transcon or long flights. Again, it can happen for silver. There's an upgrade for list just like that. You can go into the app and select your preferences. Hey, I don't want to get upgraded to a middle Comfort Plus seat, so please just let me pick the seat that I have. But a really nice one here is complimentary preferred seats for all of the status here. Now, that doesn't mean anything except maybe this is an aisle or a window seat rather than a middle. So it is nice to have, even if you're silver benefits, silver medallion, which is again the lowest tier. It could just be really nice. Going all the way up, I try and maintain platinum here in Atlanta. Even if you're a diamond member in Atlanta, because everybody flies Delta, you're probably still not going to get upgrades. So upgrades are not really a concern of mine. Again, personally, when I'm flying domestically, getting an upgrade, it's not a make or break situation. Of course, it's nice if it happens, but in Atlanta as a platinum medallion, it's not going to. But what's really clutch here for me are these waived award redeposit fees for platinum and diamond members. That means I can speculatively book Skymiles award tickets in the future if I see a great deal come up, and if I decide I don't want to take the trip, I can just call and cancel and get my miles back without having to pay that mileage redeposit fee, which is awesome because of what I'm going to talk about here in the redeeming Skymiles section. I'm going to put some links up in. Again, this video is going to be available for watching on YouTube, where I'm going to add some links, but Skymiles flash sales, and this is talking about redeeming Skymiles. These flash sales continue to be excellent value. We publish them all the time on the Points Guy. You're talking business class to Europe, Delta 1 for 80,000 miles round trip. You're talking the Caribbean, Mexico for 20,000 miles or less round trip. Domestic tickets for 5,000 miles round trip. You can go to Asia for absolutely nothing. If you want to catch these deals, make sure you bookmark this page, set up change alerts anytime they do it. They don't have anything going on right now because of, well, it's just what's going on in the world. There's no need to have Skymiles flash sales. But some really amazing value here just off of this alone before I even talk about anything else that we're going to see underneath redeeming. All right, with that, we're going to go straight to the home page. I'm going to show you how the redeeming miles works. Pretty great. And again, really love the work that Delta's doing up here with coronavirus travel updates, change and cancel flights online. I've refunded several basic economy award tickets online without calling and gotten all my miles and taxes and fees back. It's pretty great. So hopefully this won't be here, but for another few weeks, probably a couple months, when we get back to the way travel used to be. But doing award searches right on here, you can type in, wherever you want to go. Let's take a look. oh, I don't know, being an Atlanta guy, let's go down to the beach whenever we can. This little box is the key one here, shop with miles. You want to make sure that's checked. We're going to go round trip, and I'm going to tell you why round trip is important for Delta, and we'll just throw something out here in the future and see what it looks like. Again, flexible dates is also a great way because of the way that Delta's calendar shows when you do a word search. And that's all you have to do. There's no extra thing. You can see I'm not even logged in. It doesn't matter. And then we see, hey, fly Atlanta to Miami round trip, almost any single date on this whole calendar for a whopping 8,000 sky miles. Now, a lot of that is probably to do with the times of what's going on in the world with COVID-19. However, I'm pointing at my monitor here if you're looking at me on the camera. These deals are around quite often for domestic flights, even out of the hub city of Atlanta. And typically fares are much more expensive from here in Atlanta, given that we are hub captive to Delta. But if you live in somewhere like Charlotte or Dallas, or even here in South Florida or even New York City, you can really catch some great deals like this. 8,000 miles round trip for flight to Miami is absolutely nothing. And another little thing to bring your attention to is the price calendar. So while this is a 1 or 3 days either side of availability, if we click on the price calendar, you're going to be able to check out a whole lot more dates for the entire month, going on, and just get a greater view very quickly of availability. And that's, really intuitive, awesome way to use SkyMiles here and take a look at this. So just a couple other searches that we can take a look at. People often forget how wide available partner space is on the Delta website. So remember, part of the Sky team, plenty of partners over in Asia with China Southern, with Korean Airlines, with Garuda Indonesia, and let's just see. Hey, can you use SkyMiles online to fly from Seoul over to Bali? Round trip, I don't know, I'm just picking random dates here. And we'll take a look at what partner availability there is. This is just something that a lot of people forget that you can do with these, and often very reasonable rates for what could be some expensive tickets. Now, I've even thrown in like the Maldives on SkyMiles and just can't believe some of the options that come up because of these Asian partners. So you can see I got Seoul to Bali round trip. Hey, 35,000 miles. Pretty great deal. That's probably like a 7-hour flight or something like that. It looks to be about $45 in taxes and fees based on Korean won there, 45,600. Spent almost 3 months in Korea when I was in the Navy, and what would be the equivalent to Arkansas, South Korea at an aviation plant. A lot of stories I can tell you about my time in Korea. But hey, pretty good deal here. So we got Korean Air and China Southern. I bet if we go through, we can find some nonstop flights. Hey, here's business class, prestige class on Korean Airlines for 90,000 miles. It is a 7-hour flight. Really like the details that Delta gives you here just on the quick search, and you can click details and see even more. 777-300 prestige class, 45,000 miles each way for business class on a 7-hour flight. That's a pretty daggone good deal. Great airline with Korean Airlines. I bet it's a wonderful flight. So don't forget about all the things you can do with partner availability in far-flung places. I would love to show you some of the other things that you can do here. But a couple of caveats I'll tell you. I'll switch back to a camera view here that you need to know about Delta SkyMiles. Now, typically when we're not in a COVID-19 environment, one thing Delta does if you want to use miles is once you're within 21 days of departure, rather than charging you a close-in ticketing fee, like some of the airlines did, and now they're eliminating them, everybody else in true fashion is following what Delta does. Once you're within 21 days, you're typically going to be charged more miles. So rather than charge you the fee in dollars, what they do is they just charge you that fee in miles. So always try and book your tickets more than 21 days in advance. And I'm telling you, once you're within 2, 3, 4 days of departure, it can get quite expensive. And this is where a lot of the discontent that people have with SkyMiles is. It's not like American where you can pop on and find last minute saver or web special availability. Once you're within 21 days and within a week, wow, those prices are really going to dramatically increase and can cost you a pretty penny. So if I'm flying last minute, SkyMiles is not really going to be my first program to go to and take a look at. The second thing is you need to try and book round trip tickets with Delta SkyMiles. They actually do, and some would say this is an old school way of thinking about revenue management. They do charge you often a premium if you're going to book one-way tickets. So I do a quick cost comparison when I'm doing these word searches. I'll search round trip and then I'll go to one way, and typically one way is not going to be exactly 50% of what that round trip ticket is. So it's really worth trying to book the round trip, which I just don't like doing because my travel changes so often that if something happens, it's very easy for me to change one segment or one leg at a time rather than trying to do a whole round trip. All right. And with that, we'll end our very, very basic introduction to Delta Skymiles with one more search. Really, again, spend time on these websites. Click the quick modify button up at the top. You don't have to do anything different. I just want to show you some different options again for some of the great information that Delta shows you on their homepage. So I'm going to do Detroit to Paris round trip. We're going to go back, and this is again, I hope everybody's traveling back close to normal levels in September. So this is why I think it's a good idea just to look up there, or that far in advance. And this is Detroit to Paris round trip for about a week, and I just want to go through some of the options here. Hope it shows some partner availability, which you can see 50,000 miles round trip to Europe on what's probably going to be a nonstop is just really excellent. You can do some really cool filter options here, nonstop, and we'll see what those prices are. It just comes with some familiarity and spending time with that. It looks like, hey, it is in fact going to be round trip nonstop. And again, hey, look, a partner option, Air France 377, 50,000 round trip and $83. Not bad at all. That's a lot less fuel surcharges and probably miles than you're going to see if you were to book through Flying Blue. So we have the Delta nonstop underneath. It's really interesting. It's a practice that's pretty much true site-wide, is that Delta charges less for flying partners than they do their own airlines. I personally think it's because people are so blind to Delta, or blindly loyal to Delta, that they're willing to pay that premium to get on that Delta metal. It's just a little personal preference thing, but these are the different options that they have. What I'm really hoping to look for are the new interior block that they have. So I'm just going to do a quick change of dates here and just see if we can find the nonstop on Delta's flagship, the new suites that Delta One has. Almost every wide body in Delta is going to have these new suites rather soon. Given that they're going to now retire all this 777s quicker and quicker, it might be a lot sooner than we thought. I mean, they're going to retire the 767s a lot sooner than we thought, that had the old coffin class Delta One, which was not very comfortable. And you see here this red block up here, it just lets you know, hey, this is in fact the new interior from Atlanta to Paris. And if you click the details, you'll see the second flight here, 777-200. And again, Delta One suites, 235,000 miles. That's probably the other thing that people don't like. If you're looking to fly Delta One with SkyMiles, unless it's a flash sale, it's just going to cost you a lot of SkyMiles. And it's just not a way that I personally look to use my SkyMiles. It's going to be domestic short hops. It's going to be these great SkyMiles flash sales. But if I want to go to Europe and Delta One, I'm going to use Virgin Atlantic miles to book that same Delta flight, hopefully for a lot less miles. That gets to another level. If you're just a beginner, don't worry about what I just said, but it's something we'll cover at a later date. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a 15-minute introduction to the Delta Skymiles program, talking about how you can earn miles, talking about medallion status, why it's generous, and why even silver status can be worth it with preferred seats at booking, as well as possibility to get an economy comfort plus seat or get upgraded to first class, which just isn't going to happen often, but hey, it's nice to have that. And then go right into the redeem. Remember, try and book 21 days in advance, or else you're going to get charged that close-in mileage fee penalty. That's very opaque, and again, not something I necessarily agree with. One-way versus round trip, make sure you compare those prices, and don't forget about what you can do with partner airlines and SkyMiles. Please keep an update on that SkyMiles flash sale page. Just some really unbelievable deals coming out where it's very worthwhile for me. I can't keep SkyMiles in my account. I book domestic tickets with it all the time. As I showed you, 8,000 miles round trip to Miami. It's such a great deal, and if you live in a non-Delta hub, those prices can go down even further. I hope this was a great 15 minutes out of your day. This video will be uploaded to YouTube for you to watch anytime. If you're enjoying the Lemonade sessions, please give us some feedback. If you have programs that you would like to see us cover, we're happy to take that into consideration all the time. I hope you have a great rest of the week, a great day, and remember, keep your chin up. Things are only going to get better, and we're always here talking points and miles 24/7, 365 in the TPG lounge on the site and on YouTube. Take care, everybody.